Donald Trump did the classic thing that you do when you have all the leverage, okay? When you have all the leverage in the world and you decide to be like, haha, I didn't even want to do that. I didn't even want to do this deal. I didn't even want to negotiate. Shut up.
So Hasan Piker just exposed Trump's fake Iran diplomacy, and it's absolutely devastating. Trump's claiming he's rejecting Iranian peace overtures while secretly scrambling to arrange talks through Pakistan. This is classic Trump projection, claiming strength while showing desperation. Let's break down this diplomatic theater.
The foreign minister of Iran was on a trip to Islamabad, and a lot of people were speculating, oh, does this mean that the talks are back on? But the Iranian government very clearly stated, no, this trip is just for bilateral talks between Iran and Pakistan. And Donald Trump's already done this, you can't fire me, I quit bullshit, like 15 times so far, and he chose to do it again.
Iran's foreign minister Arachi made this crystal clear. His Pakistan trip was purely bilateral, nothing to do with U.S. talks. Yet Trump immediately dispatched Kushner and Witkoff, proving America is the one desperately seeking negotiations. The "you can't fire me, I quit" pattern reveals who really needs this deal.
Since Arachi was going to Islamabad, Donald Trump said, all right, we're sending Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff to Islamabad as well because Pakistan is at the table. Pakistan is the table, right? Amidst claiming that we have won and we've destroyed their navy, we've destroyed their air force, we've destroyed Iran, and we're going to destroy it even harder over and over again for like the past 50 plus days at this point. Donald Trump was like, all right.
The contradiction is glaring. Trump claims total victory while simultaneously sending envoys for talks. You don't negotiate from strength by bragging about destroying your opponent's military for 50 days straight, then quietly dispatching diplomats. That screams desperation, not dominance.
I guess we'll send our envoys to Iran. Trump now says he's not sending Witkoff and Kushner to Pakistan after Foreign Minister Arachi leaves. This has happened repeatedly. Trump claims the Iranians are begging for talks. Iran says it is false. The U.S. says Iran is lying, and then it becomes clear Iran meant what it said.
Trump canceling the envoys after Arachi left proves this was all theater. He needed the appearance of Iranian interest to justify talks. But when Iran showed zero interest, he had to abort. This pattern repeats because America genuinely needs negotiations more than Iran does.
The U.S. is refusing talks with Iran like I'm refusing to be best friends with LeBron. Yeah, he keeps hitting me up. He's like, Hasan, let's be besties. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't have time for you right now, LeBron. You should focus on, playing games, right? You should focus on winning. You got the playoffs. Like, don't worry about it. I can't deal with it. I have too much on my timeline right now. I have too much work that I have to focus on. It's fine. Like, it's similar, like he's always hitting me up. I'm like, nah, it's fine, dude.
The LeBron analogy perfectly captures Trump's inverted reality. Iran controls the Strait of Hormuz, cratered U.S. bases, and showed they can strike anywhere in the region. America's the one getting rejected here, not the other way around. Military facts don't lie.
He's doing the same thing he did with Xi Jinping. Oh my God. Chat, remember when he was like, he wants to call me so bad. He just lost my number. He wants to call me so bad because I'm doing tariffs. He's doing the same shit. Remember he would go on television and be like, call me Xi. Call me by your name. I will be your twink. I will be your young twink friend, Xi. Call me. Call me, Xi. Why won't he call me? He's gonna call me. He just doesn't have my number. He's lost it. He never said that, by the way. Yes, he did. He said all those things spiritually. It is very funny.
The Xi Jinping parallel is spot on. Trump uses identical projection with every adversary. China, Iran, Russia. He claims they're all desperate to talk while America plays hard to get. This psychological pattern reveals deep insecurity about America's weakening global position.
It was like, Vladipo, why are you doing this? This isn't you, Putin. This isn't you. We're such good friends.
So, you saw that.
I cannot believe how motionless we are. It is unbelievable. Trump needs to fix this before the Xi Jinping summit, okay? It's supposed to happen in May. It's coming. It's coming up in like a couple weeks, like 3 weeks from now. And he needs to nip this in the bud before he goes to Beijing. If he still has this problem when he's going to Beijing, it's over.
The China summit timing is crucial. Xi will arrive knowing Iran just demolished U.S. military assets across the region. How can Trump threaten tariffs when Iran proved American bases are sitting ducks? China's watching this debacle and taking notes.
Donald Trump lies. Even normal media outlets like the supposedly unbiased, like liberal media outlets will cover that lie as though it's serious, as though it's real. And then you'll go to Fox News and Fox News will be like, this is incredible. It's brave, really. It shows how mighty America is. Like there's just a range of different news coverage that we see every day. Donald Trump lies about something. CNN covers it with a little bit of skepticism. They'll have a panel that's like filled to the brim with the Scott Jennings of the world who will still offer defenses for Donald Trump. And then we'll turn to Fox News and Fox News will be like, Donald Trump showed exceptional bravery and strength by claiming that peace talks were on the table when there was no indication that they were from the Iranian side. And now that he realizes that Arakshi has already left Pakistan, then it would look embarrassing for Trump to send his envoys to Islamabad after Arakshi left, the foreign minister.
Media complicity enables this deception perfectly. CNN adds token skepticism while platforming Trump defenders like Scott Jennings. Fox News sells the fantasy as strength. Neither challenges the core lie that Iran wants these talks. Independent media had to expose the truth.
It's understandable that Iran is skeptical, considering that America, under Trump's leadership, has engaged in perfidy twice and started bombing Iran twice during negotiations. Negotiations where the Iranian side was willing to concede to American maximalist demands. So why should they? Doesn't make any sense.
Iran's skepticism is completely rational. Trump bombed them twice during previous negotiations when Iran was ready to accept maximalist American demands. Why trust someone who attacks you at the negotiating table? This diplomatic perfidy destroyed American credibility permanently.
NBC is now confirming for the first time what many of us already suspected or knew. The Iranian Air Force bombed U.S. bases in the opening phase of the war. Washington, American military bases and other equipment in the Persian Gulf region suffered extensive damage from Iranian strikes that is far worse than publicly acknowledged and is expected to cost billions of dollars to repair, according to 3 U.S. officials, 2 congressional aides, and another person familiar with the damage. It was
NBC finally admitting the massive Iranian damage validates what independent analysts reported months ago. Corporate media buried this story while Iran was cratering U.S. bases. The satellite imagery ban was the tell. You don't censor victories.
so extensive, the damage, that the American government went to American commercial satellite companies and made them stop publishing imagery from the region. And at first it was supposed to be for like 7 days, and now it's permanent. We knew that was confirmation even back then. We already had confirmation. If you were following open source intelligence on Twitter, you already saw many of those strikes. Mizar Vision did extensive work on this too, the Chinese commercial satellite company. We knew about this already. Now it's confirmed in mainstream news.
The satellite censorship speaks volumes. American companies were ordered to hide damage while Chinese satellites kept publishing. Social media revealed what mainstream news covered up. This information war shows who's really winning and who's desperately hiding losses.
I told you, Iran was cratering American bases to the tune of billions of dollars of damage over and over again. Many people were completely oblivious to this reality, and many people still are completely oblivious to this reality. And on top of that, they have no understanding of what this represents for America's force projection capabilities. They are also completely oblivious to what that even means. What is America's force projection capabilities?
Force projection means America's ability to deploy military power globally. Iranian strikes proved U.S. bases are vulnerable everywhere. When your forward operating positions get destroyed, your entire imperial strategy collapses. That's why this matters far beyond the Middle East.
In the initial days of the war, an Iranian F-5 fighter jet bombed the U.S. base in Camp Beering in Kuwait. An F-5. I don't know what's more disrespectful. $7,000 lawnmowers with propellers flying over the Strait of Hormuz and hitting these Gulf bases and taking out billions of dollars worth of equipment, or a F-5 fighter jet. An F-5 fighter jet that hasn't been modernized at all because of the sanctions, okay? The F-5 made its first flight in 1959. That's fine.
An F-5 from 1959 defeating modern U.S. air defenses is absolutely humiliating. Iran couldn't even modernize these jets due to sanctions, yet they still penetrated American defenses. This exposes fundamental vulnerabilities in the world's most expensive military.
Alouette Air Base is the airbase for CENTCOM, Central Command, okay? That is the heart of the American military operations in the region. And Iran destroyed one of its runways. That is unbelievable, okay? U.S. bases have been cleared of U.S. troops and other personnel. So many of the bases were left essentially empty and vulnerable to attack by Iranian missiles and drones. Many of the troops who were temporarily relocated are expected to return to the bases once the tensions in the region subside.
Al Udeid houses CENTCOM, America's command center for the entire region. Iran destroying its runway means they can neutralize U.S. military leadership at will. The mass evacuation of American personnel proves they can't defend their most critical assets.
Eagle's cost estimate for repairing the infrastructure is more than $5 billion. Oh my lord. But that amount does not account for some of the radar systems, weapon systems, and aircraft and other equipment destroyed in the Iranian strikes, she said. Eagle has worked on defense and budgetary and military readiness issues for years and is a former Pentagon official. The Iranians damaged at least 2 air defenses in the region, according to the U.S. officials. It's worse than that, by the way. In Bahrain, the base of the 5th Fleet headquarters, 7 reports of damage to satellite communications, radar protection structures, and large warehouses. Just know that those are gone, okay? If they're reporting that there was extensive damage, that means it's over. It's done.
$5 billion just for infrastructure repairs, not counting destroyed aircraft and weapon systems. When Pentagon officials say extensive damage, that's bureaucratic speak for completely obliterated. These costs will cripple U.S. military budgets for years.
For people with poor reading comprehension, what's new here is that the Iranian jets flew straight through U.S. air defenses into Kuwait and possibly Bahrain and the United Arab Emirates to drop gravity bombs on American assets. The last time something like this happened was during the Korean War. The closest official confirmation we've had of this was a CENTCOM press release on March 2nd acknowledging Iranian Air Force activity.
Iranian jets penetrating U.S. air defenses to drop gravity bombs hasn't happened since Korea. This represents a complete failure of America's most advanced defensive systems. CENTCOM's March acknowledgement was them admitting they couldn't stop basic Iranian aircraft.
Anyone who gets their news about the Iran war from sources outside of the Fox Neocon sewer of Sean Hannity and Ben Shapiro already knows that Iran absolutely pummeled U.S. bases in multiple countries. This new reporting shows billions of dollars worth of damage and even cites a study from the Neocon American Enterprise Institute for support. If you talk to any trustworthy U.S. officials, they'll give you the real story about the war. Not just that Iran inflicted far more damage than known and that the U.S. government hid it, including the number and severity of U.S. casualties, but also that, as happened in the last war with Iran in 2025, both the U.S. and Israel, and now the Persian Gulf dictatorships, are very low on munitions and especially anti-missile defense systems. Oh, Ryan Grimm also has some words on the reporting from mainstream news, mainstream outlets about Trump potentially going into talks with Iran when no such talks were taking place.
The ammunition shortage crisis is devastating. U.S., Israeli, and Gulf forces are running low on interceptor missiles. Iran's cheap drones and missiles are depleting expensive American defense systems. This is asymmetric warfare working exactly as designed.
It is China's very own Israel in many respects, but it also is still very much controlled by the CIA, and it has good relations with Iran, like really, really positive relations with Iran. So I understand why they would hold these talks in a country like Pakistan. But yeah, Pakistan is moving a little bit like Klay Thompson, you know what I mean? Perhaps a little too greedy with its new found importance in international diplomacy. These are not mistakes that Oman would make.
Pakistan's diplomatic inexperience is showing. Unlike Turkey or Oman, who've mediated for decades, Pakistan got overexcited about hosting historic talks. Leaking details to boost prestige destroys the trust necessary for secret negotiations. Amateur hour diplomacy.
The reason why is because if you bust your nut too hard in order to boost your importance, you might actually lose the opportunity, the generational fumble. It looks really good when you got the Islamabad Accords, right? Like that will end this war between Iran and America. That's a really good thing, but you're maybe a little too excited. If your goals end up getting in the way of the ultimate goal of conducting this ceasefire negotiation, then you might be cooked.
Pakistan just fumbled a generational opportunity. The Islamabad Accords could have ended this conflict and established Pakistan as a major diplomatic power. Instead, their eagerness for credit destroyed Iranian trust and killed any chance of meaningful negotiations.